want to serve other people, and then sometimes maybe get caught up in the businessing of it all, and yes, focusing on lack. And what we know is that what we focus on grows. And
Oh,
it's
it
not to
does.
say, it's not to say don't focus on needing to make more money. It's just how we're choosing to focus on that, whether it is in service, as we've been discussing, or whether we're whether we're squashing ourselves and in that kind of comparison paradigm, or feeling like not enough or not worthy of, or and if any of that, or imposter syndrome, and if any of that is coming up, it's just showing us our next layer, our next edge, ready to be healed. So if there is anything to work on when we enter a business, is yes, we want to work on the strategic stuff. Like that is important, to grow a healthy, future-proofed, functional business. But also, also looking at the self and going, well, what is triggering me, or what's activating me? Because really that's the universe and my unconscious mind showing me my next level of, of healing that needs to happen.
And it's diving into that inner self to actually see where you're sitting and know where you want to go and have that clarity in the first instant, and then stepping into that business with the emotion and the mindset that is going to take you forward or move you forward.
Yes.
Whereas a lot of people think, oh, I'll just start this business because, and they have no idea what they're doing. And they think, oh, well, I'm not making any money. But a lot of it's to do with you and your personal behavior and your attitude toward your own life that you take into that business. And that's why you need coaches. That's why you need that's why you need mentors to actually delve into who you are and where you want to go and who you are truly want to be. And is it that you want to be yourself, or is it that you want to portray someone else? And I think you find a lot of the time people want to emulate others because they're successful, but it's not necessarily going to work for you because you're not them.
Yes.
You are you, and you need to bring out your brilliance and magic so that you can then bring that out into whatever business or whatever you're doing.
And I think especially, again, for the types of businesses that we work with, it's incongruent to an extent to not have a coach, because how can we, it's reciprocity. How can we expect somebody else to come and, want to spend time and energy, cost is time, energy, know how it's not just, dollars. But how can we expect somebody to come and spend money on us if we're not then spending money on ourselves to upgrade and to up level and to have, further understanding and, all those different pieces to keep peeling back the onion, so as coaches, for me, I just think it is out of alignment to not have a coach that is being that reflection for you, not to you, for you, to be able to unpack those deeper layers. My understanding is that there's three things. There's nothing like these three things to really, show us maybe our edges, and that's being in a relationship, the dynamic with you and your partner, having children, and being in business. Like those are the three largest areas that are absolutely going to reflect back to you wherever your edges or your next layers of healing need to be.
And we have to reflect on those things, don't we?
Yes.
Because if we don't reflect on them, nothing changes if nothing changes.
Nothing changes, exactly.
And we have to be, when in business, we have to have that flexibility of change. We have to look at things, and if they're not working, we need to change them, not stick at it and determine that it's going to work this way because it did in the past. And we have to keep moving going with the flow instead of stagnating, because when you stagnate, nothing happens at all, does it?
I love Tony Robbins saying that there's no lack of resources, only a lack of resourcefulness.
Yes,
and when we actually just sit there and go, gosh, what can I change, or or where can I get help? Where can I reach out for help to understand what I can change? Because sometimes we can sit there, in less clarity of thinking, going, I don't know, what can I do? I'm not sure. So the first thing you can do is maybe ask for some help.
Yes.
because if it's outside of our vision, of course we're not going to be able to see it, and we could be feeling like, especially in business, we're flogging a dead horse and we've done all of the things that are within our vision, to get something off the ground and running, or to build it up, or to make more money, or whatever it might be. And that might be 100% correct. You've done everything in your vision. So now it's time to reach out there and see, that somebody else is living the life that you want to live, and success leaves clues.
Yes.
So reaching out for that help and seeing the clues that success is leaving, and being open, as you said, being flexible of the mind and adaptable, to change. And sometimes with change, as we were talking about before, the fear of change, can actually be sometimes more scary than the fear of staying the same. And so you do see a lot of people staying the same and in stagnation, because the fear of the unknown and difference can actually be a little bit more scary. But there is nothing more predictable than creating your future. So in that regard, it is actually certain. You're not stepping into uncertainty, you're stepping into more certainty, but you're creating from a place of new.
Mm. And that's exciting.
Mm.
Very exciting. You said something just a minute ago and it's just gone.
I say many things, yes. Flicking by.
Having that freedom to be able to become your own person is really important in business, and that fear of the unknown can be really quite scary. But if you want to step out into it, that's what I wanted to say. Step out into it. You need to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help, because if you're sitting there and you're going around and around and around with a certain thing that you don't know how to move forward with it, all you have to do is ask somebody. They'll throw a different perspective on it. They'll look at it in a different way to you, and they will obviously give you that out into the next step that you want to go.
Yes, exactly. And we also like looking at, if you're sitting there now, listening to this, and you're thinking, gosh, I'm not enjoying my life at the moment, or some things need to change. I always love the magic wand question. Like, if you could create your best life and wave the magic wand, what would 1 year now look like? And be all up in your visionary just for a second, and don't stifle it by going, oh, well, I can't imagine how that's going to happen, or, or that's unlikely, or just be in your childlikeness for a moment. Imagine and envision, what life could look like in 1 year from now. And when we're working with, our clients, I literally ask them that question, and then we reverse engineer the plan.
Yeah.
Because it's about trajectory and micro trajectory. And so if we don't know, where we're going, how are we going to know when we get there? And so it starts with that vision.
And it's developing that clarity and having that vision. You've got to have a vision. And, you set goals. If you don't write your goals down, they're just dreams, really. So you need to write them down so that you can actually see them, and put a plan in action to take steps to achieve whatever you want to achieve. And if it's asking for help, that's a part of your plan.
Step
If
one.
it's
Yes.
if it's wanting to move to the next level, it's asking for help again, and someone helping you create that plan or those steps. If the steps are too big, chunk them down so that you can take a little step at a time if it's so scary. But it can happen, and you can make it happen. But you got to believe in yourself and have faith in who you are.
I always say to my clients, like, again, the reason to have a coach is because on those days where you don't believe in yourself, you can borrow my belief in you, because I simply wouldn't work with anyone who I do not wholly believe in their, their business, their direction, their mission, their being as a human being on this planet. And so it's okay to have those days where maybe we don't believe in ourselves fully, or we're just, we're a little bit disheveled or a little bit tired, or the head noise has creeped in. On those days, that's why you have a coach. It's to borrow their belief in you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting, isn't it, sometimes we lack that belief and that faith in ourselves, and all we need to do is have a conversation with somebody who will actually bring out that, whatever it may be, so that you can have that belief and that faith in yourself.
Yeah.
And it might lack every now and then. So go back and have that conversation, have that person, that mentor, that coach, or whomever it may be, to be able to say, well, okay, I'm up to date, but I'm not sure where I need to go. I'm not feeling in the right space. My attitude isn't in a good place.
Yeah.
So I need to have that conversation with somebody.
Yes. And I think as well, we were touching on this a little bit before. Something my mum always taught me was, get it out of your head and into your heart. Get it out of your head and into your heart, because your head is logic, and us humans, we are chemical messes of emotion and all kinds of other things. We actually we don't really function on logic, even though we'd like to think we do. We function on emotion, and emotion is heart language. And the more compassion we can bring ourselves, the more we can reach out to somebody and have a conversation and realize that, we're not so isolated, we're not by ourselves, that we are actually, quite normal, even in our uniqueness, then from that place, from heart emotion, not head, not logic, not trying to overbrain it or, overthink it, then we can be in abundance, then we can be in creation, then we can be in, new energy and all of those delicious things. They are heart emotions, not head thinking.
And I think sometimes we do get stuck in our head.
Yes.
And I always say, start thinking of something good. If you feel like you're stuck in your head and you're hearing those stories repeated over and over again, then stop, take a breath, turn yourself 5 degrees or whatever, just to change the direction a little bit to where you're heading, and your thoughts will change. Yes. Or have that conversation with somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even sometimes that conversation can be with yourself. I'm
always having conversations with myself.
Yeah. And and just sort of go, well, when did I last feel healthy? When was I last happy? When was I last in my joy? When was I last in my play and my passion? What does that look like? And how can I bring more of that into the now? And that in itself will change your trajectory, and with new, that's how we create like a better, beautiful, a certain future, is by actually doing it ourselves.
Absolutely. Now we're coming to the end of the show. So how can they get in contact with you, Skye?
Look, the easiest way is probably just looking me up and becoming my friend on Facebook. My name's Skye Hanley. I love making new friends. Let me know that, you listened in today. Reach out, start a conversation with me, whatever that conversation may be. I love humans, I think, as much as you do, Faye. And so, yeah, that's probably the easiest way.
Fabulous. And what tip would you have for anyone who, in life in general or in business, what would be the tip for you?
Look, it would definitely be the saying that changed my life, and shot me onto a new trajectory, that your life will only expand in proportion to how much courage you are willing to have. And so you must go first. You must step into your own courage so that you can expand the reality that you're living in.
Oh, one more.
What's another one? If it's not joy, fun, play, pleasure, passion, it's not for you. I think that's always a good one for anybody. Just follow your greatest excitement. Life gets to be fun. Be in play. Yeah.
Follow your gut.
Yes. Yeah. Your intuition, your authentic self, all of it.
Follow your gut and make sure that you do what is right for you. Yes. Not to please other people. Do what's right for you. As long as you're not hurting or offending someone else, believe in yourself. Take those steps to do, be, and have what you want. Have that clarity in life for what you want. Nothing is not available to you. All you have to do is ask, set some goals, take some action, put a plan together and chunk it down and take those steps to make it happen. And it will actually happen.
Life is happening for you as long as you see the gifts.
Life is happening for you, not about you or to you. Yeah. And so that's really, really important.